times Bubba Watson's won the Travelers up in Hartford, so he's won in Cromwell, Connecticut. So he's won Hartford twice, LA 3 times, and he's won the Masters twice. That's 7 tournaments. I think he's won 10 in his career, maybe 9. So that's pretty amazing percentage with those 3 events. Here's Jimmy in Massachusetts, and he is with us here, and he's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Jim, good afternoon. How are you today?
Hey, Chris, how you doing? Big fan, first time, long time. Working girl, you stole my thunder earlier. That final scene when she thinks she's just going to get an average job, and then she ends up being like the senior manager is beautiful.
Oh, it's a great scene. It's a great scene.
I would disagree with one thing. Rain Man was a better movie.
Yeah, I didn't love Rain Man. I thought Rain Man, I need to see it. I remember seeing it at the time. I thought Rain Man was a little overrated. Now, he was great in it. Hoffman, but I thought the movie itself didn't do much to me. I didn't like the movie that much, but I thought that Working Girl, I don't say how you can't like that movie. It had everything to it. It was funny.
Tom Cruise was underrated in Rain Man.
Yeah, he was. Cruise was underrated in Rain Man, but he had to take a second. That was a secondary seat, though. That was a Dustin Hoffman movie. That was not about him. That was about Hoffman.
Barry Levinson was great, too.
Levinson in that movie was who now?
He was the director.
Well, he directed the movie. He didn't play in the movie. He directed the movie. Correct.
Yeah.
Working Girl was Mike Nichols, and Nichols was a tremendous. He just passed away, but Nichols had a tremendous career. I don't know. I think I like Working Girl better. Jonathan in Chicago. He's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Jonathan, good afternoon. How are you today?
Good. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
All right, Jonathan. Thank you. What's on your mind now? What do you have for me?
So it's all about the Donaldson-Harrison tennis match, and everything that I've read as well points to the conclusion that nothing was said. This I will take into effect, though, that Donaldson and Harrison are both grinders on the tour. They've never reached their full potential. I doubt they ever will. And so I can understand how things can get heated after a while. This brings up another point. This is the human element of the sport of tennis. It's one-on-one. It's intense. And there are a lot of tempers flying. But then with the advent of ShotSpot, it kind of took the human element out of tennis. So believe it or not, for myself, I love tennis, and I actually kind of like seeing the players get a little heated every now and then. However, saying what Donaldson did say is, to me, and if it's untrue, is absolutely atrocious. I cannot believe you can do that and get away with it, basically what you're saying. It reminds me of one of the Bennett brothers in Las Vegas saying that the Las Vegas police put them on the ground and put guns on them.
Very much.
There was a shooting.
Very much.
There was a shooting inside the casino at the time. And they were just doing their job, and we all saw the footage, and nothing happened. So, again, it's a horrible time in our society when you can just put something on social media and all of a sudden it becomes truth without any backing.
And listen, if Ryan Harrison said something, somebody would have heard it because they were yelling at each other. He didn't whisper that. Somebody would have heard it. And the ball boy, 26-year-old kid, was literally right there and went to the ATP tour himself and then talked to all the reporters, including the New York Times. I heard nothing. And Ryan Harrison getting killed for this is absurd. And he also said, I like Young better than I like Harrison. Harrison's a pain in the ass in the court. Young is okay. So he even said that I like Young better. But this is completely out of line. And Donald Young, for him to say that and then have nobody kill him for this is a disgrace. I know I didn't hear what Young should apologize, is what Young should do. If he had guts and class, he would apologize. I respect him for that. You know what? I'm heat of the moment. I said something I shouldn't have said. I said about an opponent that he said something to me that was not true. I put him in a tough spot. I hope he understands that I feel bad about it, and I regret me doing what I did with Twitter. And he didn't do that. And it's obvious Harrison said nothing. It's obvious. The chair umpire heard nothing. The ATP tour did 3 days of investigations on it. They interviewed everybody in the building. There was only 2,000 people in this. There was nobody in the stands. There's 100 people there watching it. So it's not like it was the din of the noise where nobody could hear it. And nothing happened to Young. That is completely out of Young. Completely annoying and out of line. Larry's in D.C., Mad Dog Unleashed. Larry, good afternoon. How are you today?
Good, dog. How are you?
Larry, nice to talk to you. What's on your mind now? Let me hear.
Hey, first question. You've been coming to D.C. this year for the All-Star Game?
Absolutely.
Have you been to Nationals Park yet?
I have. I was there for Strasburg's first ever start.
Okay, so you'll like it since it's close to the metro, and you know.
Yeah, I didn't love I didn't love the stadium at the time. To me, to build a stadium in D.C. and not have any views of the landmarks in that nation's capital bothers me. The big picture you get is the parking garage, but it is in a location wise you can get there. I understand. Go ahead.
Right. A couple things for you. First thing, with generating more interest into baseball. Baseball's got to change when they put these playoff games on the air. When they're putting them on the air, 9, 10 o'clock during the playoff time, who's going to stay up and watch that?
Well, they're in a tricky spot there, Larry, with the playoff schedule because those 2 or 3 days that you're referring to in a divisional series, although they have 4 games to squeeze in the same time window, that's a little tricky. So they have to put one game late at night. Nobody wants the 1 o'clock window. So sometimes they get caught there. That's a bad schedule day for baseball. That first round when there's 4 matchups, that's a tough spot. Johnny is in Cape Cod, and he's aboard. He's on Mad Dog Unleashed. John, good afternoon. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Good to be on with you, Doug. Just want to let you know I'm a refugee, and I'm happy to be here.
All right, a refugee. We got refugees. We love to hear that. Good job. Go ahead. What do you have for me?
Well, I was at Radio City a couple years ago, had a great time with it. It's an absolute great one night only that you did with Mike there, but I just remember when you did it, it was a real home run with the crowd. The interviews are great. I'm a Red Sox fan. I loved getting to hear Bobby V's side of the story with a couple cocktails in them. Was fantastic. But my favorite... He
got mad at me for that, by the way, was I brought that up.
Is that right?
Oh, he got mad. He didn't talk to me for months.
I like it. So, but you guys did the over-unders, and you did not only that, you really knocked it out of the park. Nobody was going there except you at the time. You said Cleveland to win the American League, which was huge, with Chernoff's kid taking over as GM. So I was just curious, will you be bringing Mike on before the baseball to do over-unders?
Yeah, Mike will be on, but he's going to be on the TV, not on the radio. So Mike will be on the television. I haven't figured out a date yet. It will be before week 1. Before opening day, and I would think we would do it that week. Opening day this year is on a Thursday. Last week in March, I believe that's a TV event this time, not a radio event, because TV asked, and I asked Mike, and Mike said absolutely. So there you go. Let's chat with Frank in the Bronx, and he's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Frank, good afternoon. How are you today?
Hey, how are you?
Hello, Frank. Nice to talk to you. What's on your mind now? What do you have for me?
I wanted to bring up 2 things. First of all, I did a report on that working girl. David Duchovny, Ricky Lake, Olivia Dukakis, Kevin Spacey, all those people were in that movie.
Well, I know Spacey was.
Olivia Dukakis, Alec Baldwin was in it.
Dukakis was good in the movie. She played the girl, the woman who got her the set. Yeah, she played the job appointer who got Melanie Griffin the job. Who else did you say?
Duchovny, Dave Duchovny.
And who did he play?
And he played with Tess's birthday friend when they had the party for Tess. I don't know if you remember that. He was like in the crowd. It wasn't a big part, obviously.
I remember the birthday party for Tess. That was a surprise birthday party for her, yes.
Yeah, and then Ricky Lake was also in the movie. I think she played like the helicopter, one of the people in the helicopter.
Yes, she did. Yeah, when she came off the helicopter off her broken leg, there was a second woman there, and it was Ricky. That was Ricky Lake. How about that? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so a lot of people came out. It's funny because I did something for one of the classes. But listen, real quick, do you think these guys are get along in the Bronx? Number 1. Number 2, how do you think the Giants are going to do out west? I love that ballpark. Every time I go to San Fran, I go to 1 or 2 games. It does get cold on a Sunday night game, though.
Yeah, it's chilly. The ballpark is great. Giants much improved. I have to expect that Stanton and Judge will play well. I do think, though, that it's almost too good to be true, which makes you a little nervous. We continue here on Mad Dog Unleashed.
This is the